Excuse me. Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It is Tuesday, and just one more day to go in 2020. The markets are kind of, the FANG stocks seem to be kind of, I don't know, they don't seem to be that exciting. Tesla is up though, and that's a good sign. We're nearing a very key buy point, the buy point being 695. And of course, if it goes through 695 and with strength, I do believe it's going to probably move higher. Now, also, in addition, I think 2021 may be the year of Bitcoin. And I want to show you this chart. It's a very interesting chart. And by the way, if you're looking on TikTok, you can see this very easily just by going to youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. And we're live right now. So I just kind of want to give you an idea and take a look at this. It's kind of interesting. This is the chart of Bitcoin. And as you can see, it has moved significantly higher. It basically touched 28,579 just very recently. Now it's backed off a little bit above this, but that is a very significant thing. It seems as if a lot of people are getting a little bit concerned about, all this money printing that's been going on, and there's been a lot. And of course, we've benefited from it in 2020 by buying stocks where where a lot of the capital has been going. I don't know about the regular economy. The regular economy may not be doing that well, but the sort of the internet economy and the economy of the stock market seems to have done really well. And I think that's going to continue, but people are getting a little bit concerned, and so they're wanting to go to safe havens. The traditional safe haven, of course, is gold, but Bitcoin has become increasingly, for many people, a safe haven. Now, the problem with Bitcoin, of course, is that at $28,579 for each Bitcoin, it's kind of hard to buy a lot more than one or two of these things. But there is sort of two plays that I'd like to kind of talk to you about. Two ways of doing it that is very easy and also gives you the advantage of the liquidity that you get in the markets. Now, the first way, of course, is what they call the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, or GBTC. And as you know, I've had positions in it. I have a position in it now, just not in the small portfolio. I probably will be, I will be including that in the smart portfolio again. I sold it on a pullback because of my stop loss. That's how I like to trade. I like to come into something as it moves up, push my stop loss up, and then if it pulls back, then I sell out at a profit. That way I can sort of automatically trade all day long, and I don't have to watch the screen. So but I'm out of Bitcoin now in the small portfolio, but overall, I do have another portfolio that does include it, and I think that we might want to consider it on a long-term basis. This is an ETF, and they hold about about 4% of the world's Bitcoin. So it's very significant in terms of a proxy for Bitcoin, and it's relatively inexpensive. Also, there is another company called Riot Blockchain. I want to talk to you a little bit about that because I think that one also, at least in the near future, may provide some very good opportunities. So first of all, before we get going, just kind of want to give you kind of a wrap up, kind of a overview of the market real quickly. The market is still in a confirmed uptrend, and that's important to note. The market is still in a confirmed uptrend. We haven't gone to an uptrend under pressure or anything. We're still in a confirmed uptrend. The S&P 500 is up just slightly today, but it's at 3731 when this slide was taken. The Dow, and this is the recorded one, the Dow Jones is over 30,000. So we're still very strong in the market, but that may change. So we got to be getting ready for this. And I think this Bitcoin trust might provide sort of an opportunity that could be quite good. This is a kind of a chart going back quite a way, basically to about 2017 when it got started. As you can see, it's almost near a new high. Let's pull back to that slide, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust slide. As you can see, it's almost at a new high, right? It's right currently at 32.68. And it is just right below that 34. Now, as everybody knows, I typically like to buy stocks as they're making new highs, and we're very close for this thing to happen. The Grayscale Bitcoin Trust did make a new high back in December of 2017, but as you can see, it's been all this time until it's come back to there. So I think we're getting ready for possibly a very good point to buy the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. We don't really have a great format, a great pattern to buy it in, but we do have a lot of things are lining up with it. It's got a 98 relative strength, and we're starting to see some heavy buying in that. So this is one area that you can get involved with Bitcoin very easily, and the advantage of this, of course, is that if you have to sell your shares, you could immediately sell them in normal hours without having to go through a bid-ask process like with Coinbase or somebody like that. Not that those are bad, but this gives you more liquidity, and I think this is really the superior way to trade it. Another option, and this is not really trading Bitcoin, but this is a company that will benefit hugely from Bitcoin, and that is the company called Riot Blockchain. And I want to show you the chart of this. And by the way, if you're looking on TikTok, super easy. Just jump on over to YouTube, youtube.com/SalesTradingFloor, and you'll be able to see this on there as well. We're also, with Riot Blockchain, we're getting to the point, again, December 17, 2017 is when it hit its high, and it was about $30 a share. Now it's currently at $17.71. There again, same thing. There's not a really good place to buy this, but it's just been moving higher. So this is something we also want to consider. And so I'm going to probably talk about that more later, but I just wanted you to be aware of those two kind of very good options, one being, of course, the GBTC, which is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and the other one being Riot Blockchain. Also, just wanted to kind of give you a look at the chart of the S&P 500. We're up today, which is good. Just a tad 0.12% on the NASDAQ, so that's looking pretty good. We're almost at an all-time high. We're only 1% off the all-time high, so very strong, actually. The market continues to be strong, even though I think that some of this rally might be a little bit suspect because there's been so much money moving into the system. It has to have somewhere to go, and I think it's been going into the markets. Also want to show you the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is also above key levels. There was a little bit of a pullback yesterday on some of the big FANG names, but it seems like we're back. We're back in the green again. So that's looking good as well too. Here's the thing about the NASDAQ stocks. I think you want to be very careful and put your stop losses very close, maybe 2.5% or 3%, because I do expect that we will see. Maybe not this week, maybe not next week, but I do think we may see a pullback, and you want to be protected so that you get all of that good run up in value there. Just before we get to the questions, kind of want to show you my what I'm holding right now. And again, I typically like to keep it about 8 positions. I have 7 positions now in cash. I typically like to only trade about 8 stocks at a time. That makes it easier for me to do it. Of course, I'm in Apple, as everybody knows. I've been moving into Apple, and of course, it's been moving down. So not necessarily the greatest thing here. There's a key buy point on Apple at 137.98. It's pulled above it, and now it's pushbacks. But I do have good conviction in Apple. We're up on Blink charging again today. This is an interesting play because this is sort of in the EV space. This is an independent company that has charging stations all around the country. And it seems like people are liking this one. Not a huge amount of volume in this one. This is a relatively thin stock, as you can see. I mean, it's up 81% volume. So there's not that many shares of this, which could or could not be bad. Not necessarily, you benefit on the way up and you don't on the way down. But this is the one that I think that, you might want to take a look at. I'm going to look for a buy point on this one. I don't have a buy point on this one right away, right today. So I'm going to kind of look at this one as well. Progeny, I'm in Progeny as well. Down a little bit on the volume, but up on thing. This is an interesting one. This is an in vitro fertilization company. Basically, it's an insurance company that covers an in vitro fertilization benefit. And this is very, very popular in Silicon Valley. So this is done quite well. Progeny Incorporated, symbol PGNY. And I don't have a buy point on that one either. I'll try to get to that. little bit later. And of course, we talked about the Grayscale Bitcoin Stress. It's up $2.57 today, and I've been recommending this one for quite a while. I started moving into it at about 24. It's about 32 now. Not a whole lot of change in the volume, but something you want to keep on your radar screen. I'm also have a theme this year. I'm moving more into sort of the medical plays. CHGG is one of my plays there. It's also up $2.12. It's been kind of, it's kind of been right at this $90 mark. So that's not really significant. Now, Tesla, in this slide taken just a few minutes ago, is almost at the 695 level. If it passes that, then I'm probably going to buy another position in Tesla, because I do think that's a key level, 695. If it goes above that, then I'm probably a buyer. Again, I mean, I have the stock right now, but I only have one position. I'm probably going to go to two. And NARI, which is also an interesting medical, this one's up nicely up today. This is one of the few ones that I bought this morning. I just bought this one this morning, and it's in the small portfolio. So that's kind of it for where I am at in terms of my holding. So let's go here. Thank you for being so patient on TikTok. I'm going to pull up some of the questions here. All right. Let me go. I'm going to go all the way to the top. Golden Nugget versus DraftKings. That's a good one too. Clean Spark. I don't know Clean Spark, but let's, let me pull over to my magical charts and we can see. So let's take, I don't know if I want to take that currently. Okay, let's look at DraftKings, because this is one of the ones that I definitely am interested in. DKNG. Of course, the companion chart for this one is with Penn National Gaming. It looks like there's a nice reversal on it. We're up just 86 cents today, but we did have it did pull down sort of it did pull down. It looks like it almost went to the it almost went to the 40 day, but it looks like it's turning upward. So this is a classic reversal. This is not necessarily a bad time to buy it. There is a base pattern on it with a buy point of 53.72 on DraftKings, but it tried to make it through that buy point. It failed. It pulled back, and now it's reversing. So this might offer a very good opportunity to buy DraftKings. And as you can see, there's a significant buying activity in it today. So today is not necessarily a bad day. I may be buying some DraftKings today. DKNG. I may be buying some DraftKings today, because I do like. I do like what I see in terms of that chart. I think it might be. I probably will wait tomorrow to see if there's some conviction, but I will probably be in DraftKings tomorrow if it shows strength. But it's up slightly today. Let's see if it can hold on to it. It's still got a pretty good checklist. 3 out of 9, which is good. And we have a very nice, we have a lot of funds in this, and we have some very good funds in this. So in terms of DraftKings, I think it's looking pretty good. Now let's look at over a Golden Nugget. I don't know the symbol on Golden Nugget. As you can see my browser here. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to look for Golden Nugget. What I'm doing is I'm just looking up the Golden Nugget symbol. I don't know it offhand. Here we go. Golden Nugget Online Gaming, GNOG is the symbol for Golden Nugget. So let's go over to Golden Nugget. Let's take a look at that chart. I haven't really been GNOG. As you can see, the online gaming space, of course, is heating up. No symbol not recognized. So let's see if I've got that right. It is GNOG. All right, so let's go back over and see if I've got that in there right. I may not have it in there right. GNOG. Well, it's not showing. Interesting. Okay, it is not showing. See if I can do it another way. Golden Entertainment. Okay, Golden Ocean Group. I know it's not Jojen Style. Golden Minerals. Let's see. Maybe it's Golden Entertainment. Oh yeah, there we go. Distributed gaming. Okay, yeah. Huh, interesting. In Nevada and Montana. I didn't know that was true. Okay, Golden. It's actually Golden Entertainment, symbol GDEN. So I got now I have it correct. Currently it's at 1958. Let's kind of look at the weekly chart to see. Yeah, it's a nice trend. The trend is up. So let me pull that up and show everybody on YouTube that screen. Well, it definitely has a nice, trend. So that's looking good. No real chart pattern to buy off of. It looks as if there was a consolidation here, a flat base at 1959. So we're very close. So I'm going to put that out there. I'm going to put that out there on the chat, even though this one did come from TikTok. But the NOG buy point is equal to 19. Let me see if I got that exactly. It's 19. Yeah, 19. Let's go back over here to see. Yeah, about 1981. It's what it's looking like. A little bit below that right now. 1981. So let's put that out there on the chat. And that one, I want to take a quick look at this, kind of to see. It's got a nice relative strength of 90, so I'm liking that. We do have. Let's kind of look at the markups on it to see if there's anything. No, nothing. And let's look at the data boxes. Well, we have 46% funds in it, so that's really, really good. Let's look at the smell test. Well, the smell test is looking good too, 7 out of 9, and we have good fund ownership. So overall, this is probably pretty good bet if you're interested in that. I like DraftKings a little bit better than this one, but definitely this one could be a possibility on the watch list. Golden Entertainment, GDEN. So that is that. So very interesting. I do like Penn National as well. That's also symbol PEN. So here I've been ignoring everybody on TikTok, on YouTube. So thanks for waiting. Let's look at Nio, NIO. Thoughts on any of them? By the way, Square is looking good. Okay, let's look at Nio. There is a little bit of a clouds on the horizon for Nio in that I do like the stock, but there has been some not really interference, but there's been some issues with the Chinese government, unfortunately, with this stock. So just like with BABA, you have to be a little bit careful right now on this, but it's pulled up nicely today, almost $2 a share, $2 a share right there. And let's look at the weekly chart to see, it's just amazing how this thing is just a rocket ship and it's just moving up very, very nicely. Now it pulled right back to the 40-day line, and then boom, it just bounced right off of it. This is a very bullish sign for this. Let's look at the checklist. 7 out of 9. That's looking good. And we have to have a lot of funds in this one. So out of the Chinese EV stocks, I do like Nio, and I don't see a reason at this point to sell it. Now, is there a really good place to buy it at this point if you're not in it already? I could say add to the position if you're in it, but it's going to be a little bit tough. This is not a optimal buy point, really. Unfortunately, this is always the thing with reversals. The optimal buy point was basically at about 42. It's at 48, and that was the reversal off the 40-day line. But it looks like it may indeed move higher. Now, for the month, it has pulled back a little bit. It hit its all-time high, basically back on 11/30, basically the end of about a month ago. It hit its all-time high, and Nio's all-time high was a 54.17, but we're close to that now. We're at 48. So we're pretty close to the all-time high. So could we buy this thing? Well, it's a little bit extended for me, but I want to see it. I'd like to see it base. I'd like to see it in a base pattern. So if we don't have any Nio right now, I think the best thing to do is to, so basically watch this, is wait for this thing to consolidate. And then once it comes out of a base, then I think you can buy it. If you already have it, you might be able to add to the position, but I wouldn't add more than half or a quarter position right now. But it's looking good. And, there you go. Let's look at Peloton. And of course, that's been a just tremendous stock this year. With the COVID thing, and everybody likes it. I'm amazed that it's doing as well as it is. I'm not in it currently, but one thing I will say for it, it's shown that there is definitely a market for kind of a remote community exercise market, which is incredible for me to even know that exists. But I guess it does, and Peloton's looking good. I mean, it's pulled back right to the 10-day line, and it just right to the 10-day line, and it moves right up from that. So there is a pivot on Peloton at 139.75. It's at 154.84. So it's a little bit extended. I think that maybe, I think this is watch list territory right now. I wouldn't buy this one. I would watch this one because I want to see it come closer to to a base, but this is looking good. I mean, 98 relative strength. We've got a 8 out of 9 checklist. That's excellent. We also have 657 funds in this, which is just amazing. And also we have the Good Housekeeping seal of approval with Fidelity Contrafund in there. So I like to see that. When I see Fidelity Contrafund, I mean that is a very, very strong fund. They have some very, very good stock pickers over there at Fidelity. And so when they see that, it's just it's a good one. Now, would I recommend buying this today? Probably not. I want to see it. I want to see it settle down a little bit. I think it's going to pull back, possibly to the buy point. It looks as if I think it may fall through the 10-day line. I'm not sure about this, and I think it may pull as low as about 139 before it goes back higher. Currently, it is in a short term, and I mean very short term, little downtrend here. Not anything to worry about, just kind of an adjustment. But like the stock, watch list the stock, and I think that it might be a really good one. But I wouldn't buy it today because it is, I just don't think there's enough of a base pattern. But definitely, it's definitely a watch list. So, so that's pretty good. All right, Gunnar, buy point on Spotify. Let's look for a buy point on Spotify. And of course, Spotify is really good. And by the way, my podcast is carried on Spotify. So a little shameless plug there for that. Let's look at the chart for Spotify. Let's see if we can find a buy point. Well, the last buy point for Spotify, Gunter, was a second stage consolidation, basically, and it was basically at 299.67. Currently, it's at $318.35. So it's pretty far extended above. Well, it's not that far above. I mean, it's about $20 above its proper buy point. Now, when I'm looking at this chart, it looks as if it's settling right at the 21-day line. Currently, the 21-day line is at 316. Could you buy this? Well, today I wouldn't buy it because it's pulling back, but it looks as if this reverses, and it looks like it may be reversing right as we're speaking, right as we're speaking, it looks like it may be reversing. Now, here there are some warning signs. I don't know if I would buy this right now because I want to see some more conviction. The volume is fairly low, and we do have a relative strength of 89, which is good. 80 is my minimum, of course, that I want to buy at. So let's look at the weekly chart to just see, because here's the thing. You always kind of want to start out looking at the weekly chart first, because that's going to take away a lot of the noise. And that's really what we're doing here. We're kind of looking at the signal here. This is sort of like signal if you're an electrical engineer, somebody that I did a lot of work in this, so I kind of tend to throw terms in like this, so it's kind of annoying. But I look at this as the signal, and then what the weekly chart does is it takes some of the noise out of the signal so we can see it more clearly on how it's trading. I mean, it definitely currently is trading in an upward trend, no question about it, but it has consolidated right here. So can we buy it at this level? Well, let's look to see if we can buy it. Well, 7 out of 9, so that's very good. And we have very good funds in this. Fidelity Contra Fund is in there, and so we have some very nice funds in there. The buy point currently for Spotify on a consolidation, second stage consolidation basis, $299.67. We are extended above that. Now, to get the buy, in order to calculate the buy zone, you take the buy point times 1.05. That gives you a 5% above the buy point. That gives you a zone that is really quite, that it's easy to buy in. That's a good. The reason that's a good area to buy it is because at that level, there's definitely some support. So it probably will not pull back hard from that level. So, as you know, the way CanSlim investing works, and the way a lot of other successful systems work, is that they work on these base patterns. Stocks will move up and then they will kind of rest, and these resting areas are called base patterns. And there's been about 7 of them that are very prominent, and then there's some other minor ones. But needless to say, this is a consolidation base pattern. It's not the best base pattern. Cup with handle is the best base pattern, but it's a good one. And so I'm pretty confident that the buy point on this one, $299.67. We are a little bit extended from that. Let's kind of wait a little bit. Let's pull back a little bit and see if it reverses it within that buy zone. And if it does, then I think we're at a good place that we could buy it. So right now, the top of the buy point from my way of thinking would be about 313. Okay, so about 313. So currently it's at 318. It's pulling up a little bit, but let's see if it'll pull back to about 313, reverse, and then as it's reversing, that's when you want to buy. Remember, you always want to buy on an uptick. You always want to buy as the stock is moving higher. And one of the ways that you can do that is by using the buy stop limit order. And I have a little video on that on my YouTube site at youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. So you can see what I'm talking about. And this allows you to buy it as it moves higher. And so thank you very much for the question on Spotify. I think it's a very good stock. I'm watch listing it right now. I'm not buying it currently, but the buy point on it is about $299. So $299 plus about 5%, that gives you your buy zone. It's a little bit extended from that right now. So very good question. Thanks very, very much. I have 116.84 shares of Comcast that I bought as part of the employee stock purchase options. My average right now is 33.63. What should I do with them? Sell or keep? Well, this is my brother went through. My brother worked for many years for AT&T, and he got these really great little stock option things, but he never sold them. He never would sell them, and that was kind of not a good thing because the shares of this is with telephone, they never really kind of went up. They actually kind of sort of went down over time. So sometimes you might want to consider, you might want to consider selling some of these. So let me bring up the symbol for Comcast. I don't know it offhand. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, Comcast. If you're going to give me a symbol, I think it's CAST, but I'm not sure. Comcast. If I can get a symbol for you. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Comcast. CMSC. So let me CMCS. Okay, let's look at that. Let's look at that one. CMCS is the symbol for Comcast. Yeah. And it looks like Comcast A shares, and this has a two-tier share system. Now, many times companies will do this because they don't want to share essentially the management of the company with the shareholders. The A shares typically are the common shares, and they but they may or may not be fully voting. A lot of times they will control these using the B shares. So it's there. This is a multi-classed stock. So let me see if I can get a good. I can't seem to bring up this chart for the life of me. No, there we go. Comcast, perfect. Thank you. Thank you for holding on. Thank you for holding. Sometimes I get these up, and sometimes I don't. Okay, let's look at the stock. Well, here's the thing about Comcast. I don't think it's a hold, and I'll tell you why. It's got a 58 relative strength. That is not a very good relative strength. I like to see 80 or better on that. So it doesn't pass that criteria. The checklist is also equally. It's not bad, but it's not what I would buy. I typically buy 6 or better on the checklist. It's 5, so it's not terrible. It's 55%, but it could be better. Let's look at the funds in it. It's got a ton of funds in it. 3,631 funds currently in Comcast, and we do have some very, very reliable funds. Franklin Growth and Vanguard Prime Cap is in it, but overall, I think you could do a lot better with your money. So if you are, if you are, emotionally attached to Comcast, I would sell. What I would do is, if I was emotionally attached to the company, I would sell half of my shares. And if I was really attached to it, of course, I wouldn't sell any. But I think ultimately you probably want to sort of lighten up on the shares, because I do think there's better places in the market to put it. But I really do appreciate the comment there, because that a lot of people have those shares from options, and they can be really, really good deals. But it's really a way to accumulate money and then take the money and put it in a part of the market that may do a little bit better on that. So let's look at some other things from TikTok. Thanks for joining me on TikTok. Oh, let's look at FedEx. I have a question from Max Trujillo 5 from TikTok, and thanks for looking at me on TikTok. FDX. Let's take a look at Federal Express. Federal Express has had a pretty good chart, but unfortunately in the short term, it is trending lower. So that's not something we want to necessarily buy into. It's a great stock, but right in the short term, it's sort of been handling over, and it's been selling. As you can see, this little Easter egg here means that this was the most selling since the last earnings report. So people are kind of selling on the news here, even though their sales are up, which is great. And we have the tremendous number of funds that are in it. 1,786 are in it, and we do have a very strong cash flow, 14% return on equity, which is not shabby at all. It's just that here's how the market works. The market is looking at not at today, but at tomorrow. And right now, even though Federal Express is looking for some good growth, it has a relative strength of 84. It just is not as good as I would like to see it. 7 out of 9 is good, and a very good fund ownership. Now, you definitely can own this one. I mean, it definitely meets the criteria. It's just that I think that it's pulled below the 40-day line. So I don't like that. I want to see how low this is going to go. This may go as low as 200. And if it does, it's currently at 260.27 before it reverses. I do think, though, there's no reason to buy it at the moment because it is trending lower. Let's wait until there is a change in direction. Let's wait until there's a little bit of a change in direction. I mean, oops, I was on Tenable Holdings. That's not right. Let's look at FedEx, FDX. And I fat fingered it there. So yeah, the trend is down on Federal Express right now. So we don't want to buy it right now. It's at 260. Let's see if we get some support at the 200-day line. Now, here's the thing to do with Federal Express. Watch list this one and see how low it pulls back. It looks like it's pulling back. It may pull as low as 200, 205 before it reverses higher. I do think it is going to reverse higher. Just don't know when. Now, it's coming up on a key level. It's coming up on a key level here at 256. About 256. It's 260 right now. Let's see if it pulls back below 256. If it does, and it reverses higher, then you might want to consider buying it. But right now, let's wait for it to turn higher. Remember, we always want to buy as it's moving higher. A stock, when it's moving lower, we don't want to buy it, obviously, because the trend can continue and we can start to lose money. And I've done this a million times, so I've not tried to tell anybody anything. But let's wait until this thing reverses. I do think we're going to see a reversal, probably at about 256. That's what's looking on the chart. Who knows? But I do think that once we see a reversal, Federal Express might be a good buy. But right now, in the short term, I wouldn't buy it. So it's a watch list right now. It's basically a watch list on that. So okay, we did Golden Nugget versus DraftKings. I like DraftKings better than Golden Nugget, by the way. Let's look at LAZR. This is a question from Viral Vids. I like that. I like that on TikTok. So let's look at LAZR. Yeah, laser. I guess that's kind of how. This is Luminar Technologies, and it's autonomous vehicle stuff. So love the autonomous vehicle stuff. Of course, this year, many of the big movers have been related to, of course, EV with Tesla, also with Blink Charging, by the way. But next year, we may really get into the autonomous vehicle. Of course, that's part of Tesla, too. I'm not saying it isn't. But it's a very big deal. Of course, as probably everybody out here knows, Mobileye, which is the Israeli autonomous vehicle company, that was purchased by Intel. And so Intel does have a competing software platform to what's going on with with Tesla. And of course, that's going to be the dominant platform for a lot of cars. I do believe the Mobileye platform. It's kind of be the Windows versus the Macintosh kind of thing, except with autonomous vehicles. But Luminar Technology also is sort of in this area. They really are in the sensor area. That's where they primarily are. Currently, it's at $36.14, up $3.78 today. That is just phenomenal. Let's look at the relative strength. 98. Wow, that is just excellent. Let's look at the weekly chart to see, look at the overall trend. This was doing nothing for years and years, and then boom, all of a sudden, something exciting is happening. Boy, there is a consolidation right here. I really like this one. I'm going to put this down on my watch list. I'm going to put this one down on my watch list, LAZR, for my watch list. LAZR. So I'm going to do a little bit more research on this one, but quick overall on this one, this isn't really necessarily the best place to buy it. Really, the only place you could buy this would be about a pullback to about $30. Currently, it's above that at 36. So this is this is a buyable stock. But it's just right below kind of where I have my general criteria. It's only 5 out of 9. I want to see 6 out of 9. This is a watch list. Here's the thing on this one, and this is so tough to do when the stock is pulling higher like this. I think we have to watch this one until we get some kind of consolidation, and I think that if it pulls back to about the $30.21 area and reverses, then we might have a place to buy it. But this is going to be tough to buy. This is a relatively thin stock. So here's what I would do. I wouldn't buy it unless, this is really strange, if it goes over $40 a share, then I think you can buy this thing. Other than that, I think you have to wait for it to consolidate a little bit. So here's how I would play this one if you want to get into the stock. And it doesn't quite meet my criteria, but it's not bad. If you want to get in the stock, you want to set a buy stop limit order, basically to actuate let's see, I want to actuate that one about $39.50, and then I want the bid price that I want to put in there at about $39.60, about 10 cents above that actuation price. So I like the laser. I wouldn't buy it unless it moved about up a little bit more to about the $40 range. I want to see it move past that. That seems to be where the resistance is. And again, you always want to buy as they're going up. as they're breaking through that resistance, and that's usually a good place to buy them. So I do like laser. Thank you for that very much. And I'm going to put that on my watch list because it does look very good. All right, let's look at Palantir. Thank you very much but for this one. I have been shaken out of Palantir. I can't tell you how many times. I'm trying to get it right with Palantir. I think this is a super winner, but it's just, it's one of those things. Today, probably, if you're going to buy it, probably today or tomorrow would have been the day. I got shaken out. I got shaken out at the 30-day, at the 21-day exponential. That's this little green line here. I'm going to show you that on the chart. That's this little green line here. That is the 30-day. Oops, give me that. Yeah, there we go. That's the 30-day line, and I was shaken out right as it pulled below that, and of course it's bounced. And on the bounce is when you want to buy it. So definitely you could buy this today. You can buy this right now. It's 6 out of 9 is the checklist. That's my minimum. It's very good. We have 77 funds in this, and basically it's only been out for about 3 minutes. And we do have the beginning of the IPO base. So I do think I still like Palantir. I've gotten shaken out of it a few times, but I do think that hopefully it will come back. It will come back. I do think you can buy it at this level because it does look like it is pulled above the 21-day line, which is the key level, and it does look like it's rebounding. So this might not be, at least in the short term, this might be a good time for Palantir, a good time to buy it. And again, I'm not recommending any stocks, and I'm totally an amateur, and I don't recommend anything. But this is how I would play it. This is how I would play it. So let's look at the next question, brother to brother. Trying to learn to read charts. When are you viewing the 21-day exponential and stuff? Do you use a 1-minute chart? Okay, please change. Okay, here's the thing, brother to brother. Thank you very much for this. I'm going to pull up the chart for Palantir to kind of show you what in the heck I'm talking about here. I always start with the weekly chart here. And as you can see, this is the weekly chart. The reason I start with a weekly chart is because you want to start getting an idea. So the first thing you do is you pull out to the weekly chart. Let's go to one with a little bit more history than that. So let's look at Tesla, okay? Because everybody's interested in Tesla. Okay, this is the weekly chart for Tesla. As you can see, the first thing I check is to see what is the general trend. Well, the general trend for Tesla is up, so I like to see that. So that makes the first test. Now, the next chart that I go to is the daily chart. And the reason I go to the daily chart is I go to see where I could possibly buy that, where I could possibly buy that. It looks as if I might be able to buy it here, because you see, basically what you want to do is buy. If you're going to buy, you want to buy on higher highs. So right now, the highest high for Tesla is right about this 695 level, and it's just 25 cents off of that. So where do I want to buy this? I want to buy this as it's pulling above this line. Okay. So I don't even use the 30-minute charts or the 15-minute charts. Those are used for day traders, and I'm not a day trader. I am a position trader. I am a swing trader and a position trader. I am looking to see when because I don't look at the screen all the time. What I do is I look at the chart, I find out where the optimal place is, I set my buy stop limit order, and then if the stock moves above that, I'm bought. And also on the way down, I also protect my position by using stop loss orders as well. And by the way, if you want to learn more about those are available on my website at www.youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. So that's really how I look at it. Now, if you want to learn more about the way I trade, and matter of fact, many top traders, I'm not saying I'm a top trader, I'm trying to be, many top traders in the world use the CanSlim method. And that was invented by William O'Neill, and he is the founder of Investor Business Daily. You can get the right now, you could get it off my website, but my website is down right now. I'm doing some tweaks to it, but this is available from Amazon. It's How to Make Money in Stocks: A Winning System, Good Times or Bad by William O'Neill. And I definitely want, you could buy this used or new, doesn't really matter. There's 4 editions of it. I mean, it has been improved a little bit, but the basic thing is, it's a great system, and it basically tells you why I'm buying when the stock is moving higher. It seems so counterintuitive, but indeed, he backtested this since 1880, and he found that this is indeed the way it is. So if you want to learn kind of more about chart reading, and the kind of the chart reading that I do, it's the CanSlim system, and it's available with the book, How to Make Money in Stocks: A Winning System, Good Times or Bad by William O'Neill. Next question. Thank you, Kay. MTLS. Let's look at MTLS. MTLS is the symbol for Materialise, and it is a foreign company. It's a American Depository Receipts, a Belgian provider, 3D printing for services. So it actually trades on the European exchanges, but there's these things called depository receipts, and they actually trade in the US. So that's how I trade a lot of my, almost all of my foreign stocks that are listed on other exchanges through these things called ADRs, and they trade right on the NASDAQ. So it's very easy to get in and out of them. And of course, you don't have to do any price calculations or anything, dollar euro conversions or anything like that. It's up strongly today, $6.07. Wow, that's tremendous. I don't know what's going on, but something's good is going on. It's got a relative strength of 94. I'm liking that very much. Let's look at the smell test. Yeah, 6 out of 9. That's my minimum, so that's really good. It's also got 46 funds that are in it, so that's really good. Now, let me kind of take a look to see who is buying this. And remember, the reason I'm so interested in these funds is because these funds will tell me, what, kind of who's buying it. Now, as retail investors, we don't have the strength to push up a stock. We have to be like minnows and follow along with the huge whales that are these funds. But these are the funds that are currently in it. Now let's see if we have some that I recognize here. American Beacon. Okay, ARK. Okay, so that's interesting. Like that, ARK Invest. Royce, smaller company. So this is, prime cap. PMC. Okay, Invesco's in this. Okay. It's Oppenheimer funds. I do like the Invesco Oppenheimer funds. Those are very good. So we do have some really nice fund sponsorship with this this particular issue. So I'm liking that. Now the question is there a place that we can buy this? Let's go to the weekly chart first to see. We have a very nice. First thing we check, of course, is the trend, the overall trend, and the overall trend is up. So that's good. It definitely looks like it is moving right up the 40-day line. It seems like it's bouncing when it's pulled back to that 40-day line. So right now, it looks like it is pulling back to about that 40-day line. So the question is, where can we buy this? You know what? I wouldn't buy this today. I would wait a little bit on this one. I would wait to see if it pulls back a little bit below $50. If it does, then, and it reverses, then I think we could possibly be interested in it. We do have increasing fund ownership, so that is a good sign. This has not been on my radar, to be honest with you, but overall I like this. This is a very nice chart, very, very strong chart. No real great place to buy it in terms of the well, I'm sorry, there is a buy point. Pardon me, I misspoke. It happens all the time. Yes, there is a buy point on MLTS, and the buy point is 52.34. So that's very good. So let me put that in the chat here. The buy point on CMTLS is equal to 52. Not sure what that is. Okay, 52.34. It's a cup with handle. That is the best, by the way. That's the best you can get. Second stage cup with handle. There we go. All right, so 52. Give you that one. 52.34. And let me put that out there for everybody. Sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Put that out there in the chat for everyone to see. And by the way, if you're on TikTok and you want to see kind of what I'm putting out with these buy points, super easy to do. I broadcast live on YouTube, youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor, and you'll be able to see kind of the chat and the questions that I'm getting, and also the buy points. And I can't, unfortunately, I can't broadcast them on TikTok yet. I'm looking to see if I can do that, but they're definitely on YouTube now. So that is that's good. So let's see about another TikTok question. AstraZeneca has a good okay, let's look at AstraZeneca. Yeah, that AstraZeneca, by the way, out of the three companies that are doing the coronavirus thing, basically Pfizer, Moderna, and AstraZeneca might be the winner, because it has AstraZeneca has sort of a better manufacturing setup, and it may be the low-cost producer. So let me look at AstraZeneca's symbol. I think it's AZ. Let me make sure. I think it's AZ on that. Let me look at the chart. AZ right now. Nope, I didn't get that right. So I'm going to look up that chart. And let's see if I get, yeah, it's an ADR, of course, because it's a foreign to me company. It's AZN. I'm so very close, but not there yet. AZN is the symbol. So let's pull up that AstraZeneca and look at that as well. Okay, it's starting to, it looks like it has reversed. Looking at the weekly chart here, here's the thing. You don't want to buy it probably within the next 3 days, because it does look like it's coming up on earnings. Earnings are, well, they're due on, no, I'm sorry. Apologize. They're due on February. So we got plenty of time. We've got plenty of time on earnings. Let's look at the daily chart to see if there's a place. You know, I am not in love with this chart. I mean, I'm sorry to tell you that. I'm sorry to tell you that, Kay. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to tell you that, Viral Vids. I apologize. I am not in love with this chart. And the reason I'm not in love with this chart is because it has a downward trend, at least in the daily, not necessarily in the yeah, and it does, unfortunately, as well in the it does as well on the weekly chart. So here's the thing right now, until this reverses, and it looks like it may be reversing. Yeah, we definitely have a reversal. It looks like it may pull above the 21-day line. So let me see where that is. Okay, you could possibly buy this at 51.12 as it's moving higher than 51.12. Currently it's at 50.18, and it's up just slightly. So here's what I would do. Here's the real tell, though. The real tell is going to be the 200-day moving average, and I do believe that if it moves above 52.60, then I think you could possibly buy this. But right now, unfortunately, with AstraZeneca, you're going to have to watch list this one. I don't think it's strong enough to do anything but watch list this at right now. All right, let's look at Fubo, because a lot of people have been asking for this one. I'm currently not in it, but it's just doing fabulous. FUBO. I think it's FUBO or Fubo TV. There we go. All right, kind of. I like saying that. You know, it's kind of a cool thing to say. All right, so let's look at it on the weekly chart first. We always want to start with that weekly chart. Boy, look at that. It is just up like a rocket ship. So that definitely passes that that screen. It's got a 99 relative strength. And look at those sales. They're just tremendous. Now, there are some things that are kind of problematic. There's only one fund in this currently. There were two, but for some reason one of them dropped out. There's only one mutual fund in this currently. So let's look at the checklist. The checklist, 5 out of 9. It just isn't strong enough for me, but it's getting there. And okay, so here's what I would do with this one. this is a very volatile stock, and it really hasn't had enough time to cure. It's only really it's an IPO. It's really only been out for 1 month. I typically like to see 3 months on this. Now I know that I'm sounding like a Debbie Downer here, and I don't ever want to be that way. But I think what you got to do is watch list this one, because it's going to spike up. As you can see, it's spiked up like this, but it also is pulled back. So there really isn't enough information right now for me to buy it. I'm not against it. I'm just saying there's not enough information for you to buy it. Watch this one. Put it on your calendar. Look at this at about February 28th of next year to see what the chart looks like. If you can do that, then I think you might have a winner. I just think it's too early on this one. You got to watch list this one. And I'm going to put it down on my watch list. So FUBO. I'm going to put it down on the watch list for the small portfolio. And by the way, if you want to get access to the small portfolio, it's super easy to do. Just go to www.Dallas Trading Floor and then sign up, first and last name and email address, and you'll be able to get access to the small portfolio and also to the action trail alerts as well. So 2 good things there with that. All right, I'm closing in on the end of the hour, so let me just take probably. Hey, Wendy, thank you. Always great talking. Let's see. Was it wrong to sell Tesla at No, Glenn. No, it's not. It's absolutely not. Absolutely not a bad idea to sell it at $6.90. Absolutely, you did fantastically. I want to say that you did fantastically. You held on a lot longer than I thought I did. Here's the thing: if it moves above $6.95, I think you want to be in it again. So you can rebuy it. It doesn't. There's no law against that. So let's look at Tesla TSLA. Let's take a look to see where it is. Yeah, it's $6.95. It's close right below that very, very key level. So I do think it's buyable at above $6.95. Now here's how I would buy it. I would buy it automatically, and the way I would do that, of course, is with a buy stop limit order, and I would buy it at $6.95 and 10 cents or $6.95.10. So we're almost there. So I don't think you've done wrong at all. But just make sure you can buy it as it moves higher. And I do think that $6.95 plus 10 cents is a good buy point for Tesla. Thank you so very much for that question, and you did very well on it, by the way. And so you have to book your profits this year. So what? You've made a lot of money, and I hope that I hope that's a great thing. And I think there is more to make on Tesla going forward. Well, it's almost at the end of the hour, so I have time for about one more question here. Let's see. Let's look. Oh. Is now a safe time to get into GBTC? And I've been talking about this, Harris, a lot. I do believe it is. Now, it's an ETF and not a it's an ETF and not a stock. So there's a little bit different rules on buying it that are different than a regular stock. The last true buy point on a cup base third stage was at $14.78. Currently, it's at $32.90. It's up $5.55 today. Would it be a good day to buy it? Well, let's see if it settles here. If it moves above $33, I think you want to buy it. I think you want to buy it at above $33. Now, if it pulls back, wait until it moves above about $33. That's what I'm going to be doing with the GBTC. Is I'm going to be buying more GBTC above $33 a share. So I think it's looking very good. It's got a relative strength of 98, and it's at nearly its all-time high. It's very, very close to that. Its all-time high is about 37. So we're very close to the all-time high for the GBTC. So that is definitely something that you might want to consider. Well, thank you very much for everybody. I'll be on tomorrow again. I'll be back tomorrow with Dallas Trading Floor, and it's super easy to get on the action trailers. All you have to do is to go to www.Dallas Trading Floor, and then just sign up for that. And if you're on TikTok, easy to get to too. Just go to my bio, hit the link, and it takes you right to the page, so you can sign up for the action trade alerts. And also, I'm working on updating the website, so it's not there's certain things that are not working as well as I'd like to, and one of them is the is the watch list link, but I'm going to be getting that up too, and you'll be able to see my watch list as well, and it's all free. And but I also, if you're looking at me on YouTube, please subscribe. It's at youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor, and of course, also, always like it when you hit that like button, and really like that. That helps me out a lot. Anyways, until tomorrow, I hope everyone's well and happy trading.